And let me introduce my guest today. And I have with me, who doesn't know Nikhil Advani, one of India's well-known filmmakers, director, screenwriter. I mean, he's been eclectic. His work has been a very wide range, right from Kal Ho Na Ho at one extreme to Mumbai Diaries. Nikhil, welcome, and I'm happy to have this conversation with you.
Thank you, Raj sir. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and then I have a well-known, famous television actor, again, extremely well-known. He's been beamed into so many households in this country. Mohit Raina, known for popular films like Yuri, Good News, Devon Ka Dev. Mohit, happy to have you, and I'm looking forward to this chat.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, and I should have done ladies first. Sorry, Shreya. I got so excited doing this with all three of you that I lost the order. But then we talk about gender equality nowadays, don't we? So it's fine. So
beating the order kind of fulfills that point, doesn't it?
Yeah, Shreya Dhanvantri. I mean, again, an extremely well-known Indian actress, model, director, author, and she's had some great successes back to back, and we'll talk to her as well. So Shreya, welcome, and happy to chat with you.
Thank you. Likewise. It's so nice to see everyone here.
Yeah, I'm
Hello,
very
Shreya,
excited.
how are you?
Very fine, Nikhil. How are you?
I'm fine, Baba.
Hi, Mohit.
Hello.
Sorry, Raj sir. Sorry.
No. Please. I want to keep this light and fun rather than make it a serious Q&A kind of a conversation, because I've been to many of this OTT thing, and I know sometimes it can get boring as well. And but the beauty about bringing all three of you together, I think, because most of these shows are not watched so much by peers as much as is watched by people who want to become the next Nikhil Advani or next Mohit Raina or the next Shreya, right? So I'm going to start asking you all one question, and I would expect each one of you to answer it. What does digital reinvent mean to you?
Go for it, Nikhil. Nikhil, go for it. Start us off.
Well, for me, Raj sir, the digital reinvent for me actually is very personal, because I think I'm at a crossroad when it comes to my own career and my own career path and my own. I turned 50 this year, and really
welcome to the 50s club.
and really, at the end of the day, Raj, you having heading colors, very well the so-called conversations and the so-called the selling that one has to do to just get your vision across, right? I mean, the whole selling. So nahi sir, ye to 200 crore karega hi. Nahi sir, ye to 300 crore karega hi. So for me, the digital reinvention has been quite liberating, because it allows me to tell the story that I want to tell. I don't think that I would have been able to do, say, Mumbai Diaries, or for that matter, we are doing a show called Rocket Boys, which is the story of Vikram Sarabhai and Homi Bhabha. How do you do that when you're doing conventional feature films, right? So for me, digital reinvention is extremely liberating. It's very liberating as just a storyteller.
Very nice. I mean, so that's liberating for you. And in fact, I would have a follow-up question, but I'll come to that once I give Shreya and Mohit an opportunity to tell me what digital reinvent means to them.
Well, for me, it's more of a redefinition, of what it means to be an actor in this day and age, because it's not, again, I'm speaking on behalf of actors, but I think I speak on behalf of everyone in the entertainment industry when I say that the playground sort of has completely opened up thanks to the digital space. I mean, there is room for everyone. There's space for all kinds of stories, for all kinds of people to flourish and find their voice in front of and behind the camera. So yeah, it's a redefinition for me.
Wonderful. And Mohit?
Well, personally, sir, I think what it has done, or what it means to me, is it has completely democratized the entire structure. You know, if this thing continues to be as it is, you know, I think we will have the best of the performances from the newest of the actors, because you know the scope over here is unlimited. So for me as an actor, you get a lot of opportunity to get into the skin of the character, and it completely changes the graph of your creative energy. So I think it is very liberating for me.
Great, wonderful. I mean, I just wanted to get that initial comments from you. So what I call is the warm-up session, and I'm also warming up as I'm speaking to you. Shreya, since I skipped you at the beginning, I'm going to ask you now. I'm going to start with you, saying you've had back-to-back, right? Family Man, Scam, and then Mumbai Diaries. So what do you consider yourself, a lucky mascot? How are you feeling?
Honestly, Raj, these kind of things, if my directors call me, it's nicer. It's a little shameless to brag. So I'm going to allow Nikhil to tell me that I am the good luck charm. So
I cannot tell you enough times, Shreya. I cannot tell you enough times. Please do not allow me to embarrass you, right? Because I cannot tell you enough times. Once a day, Raj, from the time Mumbai Diaries released till today, it is Shreya. Yes, you are my lucky mascot. Yes, Shreya, you are my lucky. Yes, Shreya.
But this is true. If any appreciation has been leveled towards me and what I bring, it's because Nikhil honestly let me get away with murder on the set. Like I could literally do whatever the hell I wanted. So any praise that I get completely has to be redirected towards this wonderful, talented man. It's nothing of mine. I just showed up.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, that's being very humble, but I'm sure the director has a big role to play too. But you were fantastic in all three of them. I watched all three of them, and I can say that. Okay, so you've got another endorsement coming there. So, Nikhil, you've been a very successful filmmaker, director, screenwriter. And just now, while we were speaking, you said your experience on OTT has been liberating, right? How much of creative freedom you get when you're making your own film and when you're doing something for an OTT platform?
Rashid, the thing is that I'm in a very unique position, primarily because of the kind of trust that Yash Johar, Karan Johar, Aditya Chopra, when I was working with them as an associate director, Shah Rukh Khan for that matter, when Shah Rukh Khan,
I'm having green tea.
No, so when Shah Rukh Khan basically tells the Johars that I will not do another film for Dharma Productions unless Nikhil directs it. So already I am in that very unique position in that sense, right? So as far as my creative freedom is concerned, whether it was hits or flops and whether a series of flops, I still had the so-called, you know what I'm saying? I still had the ability to impress upon the leading talent in whatever I was doing to follow my conviction. So I'm in a very, but I would say that but what I thrive on the collaboration that one is now doing with the OTT platforms, because you're not in. Since we are talking about Mumbai Diaries, I think a large part of Mumbai Diaries, especially the writing and the writing room and the casting, and just getting it all into where it did become, allowing me to do the government hospital the way I did it, allowing me to shoot it the way I wanted, was because of Vijay Subramaniam and Aparna Purohit. So for them, it is not as if that, aap bana rahe ho, and eventually on the Friday, you are responsible. It is that we are completely in it with you and we trust you. And yes, so of course, I mean, a lot of people will turn and say, oh, you mean that they watch your rushes every night? Of course they do. I mean, whether they do it or do not, but yes, the OTT platform does expect you to upload all the footage in the night to them on whatever platform or whatever portal they're using. Now, have they ever called up and said, hey, we don't, you had said you shoot it like this, but you shot it like that? Well, it has never happened. Of course, I've made some decisions on the set which have not been what we have discussed in the room. But yeah, so I think that for creative freedom, I think that I'm not the right person because I have always got my creative freedom. But it's a very unique way that we are now collaborating with the OTT platform, because the people on the other side of the table, most directors will tell you that, that classic entourage, hey, you're a suit, don't talk to me. I'm a creative guy, I don't have this thing, whatever. that doesn't exist anymore, because there are a lot of very creative people sitting on the other side of the table now.
Excellent. But tell me something, OTT, I mean, it's another form of delivery, right? Anything delivered over the internet is OTT, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
yet, so tell me, when it comes to creating content for OTT, for television and films, the grammar is slightly different.
Absolutely.
So what is that nuance? Can you articulate it for the audience?
So film is very clearly a director's medium. It's the director that basically, it's his vision, or it's his or her vision, and they basically are the karta dharta in terms of, and should be in ideal sequence. I think in the case of television, it is a writer's medium. It's totally a writer's medium, right? It is the writer of the Ekta Kapoor Balaji soap is the one who's basically giving it out. He knows the pulse, knows what is required, is listening to the feedback, is putting it out there every day. Similarly with the one, so it's a writer's medium. Whereas I feel OTT is, we are still discovering it. I think it's a writing room's medium rather than anything else. It's and there are two things that I think that it is. One is the writing room's medium and the showrunner's medium. Right? No, I mean that a director can be brought in, or several directors can be brought in, like in the case of how Zoya has done in the case of Made in Heaven, right? There are three different directors. There's Nitya, there's Reema, there's
Set it up, and
Alakrita.
the other director.
Yeah, and Zoya possibly does one or two episodes. She sets it up, but she's there. So what I'm trying to say is the writer, the showrunner could also be the lead writer. In most cases is the lead writer. In the case of people like Aaron Sorkin, or in locally in the case of Sudeep Sharma, who's written Patal Lok. So he is today becomes the karta dharta over there, right? In the sense the platform is talking to him, he's talking to the director. If tomorrow the actor has an issue, actor will possibly bring the director and the showrunner together to have a conversation. This is what I want to do. So I think that the role of the showrunner is now going to become very, very important in our industry also now.
So thank you so much. I think you articulated it quite well, especially for a layman to understand what are the differences. And Mohit, you've been extremely successful in television and movies, and now you made this transition to OTT. This is a trick question. If you have to choose, which is the platform would you choose? Now, and tell me why.
I think OTT.
Don't tell me money. Don't tell me money.
No, OTT. I think I will choose OTT.
Yeah, why?
Because it gives you a lot of scope to satisfy your hunger and your greed as an actor. There are so many stories which are untold. It gives everyone ample amount of time to work on those stories, be it writer, be it the director, or be it the set designer. Everybody putting in their best of the efforts, because there's no race against time. And you, after their hard work is done, you also get ample amount of time to show your creative aspect and do justice to those characters, because those characters are very well written and well drafted if everyone has ample amount of time. So, and there are so many stories being made at the same time. So I think as an actor, it's very refreshing and very satisfying. You kind of go and do the pre-production for 3 weeks. You do the rehearsals and workshops and everything. You shoot for 45 days and you're done. In 3 months, you are done with one nice series. So I think I really feel very lucky to be a part of this space or this phase right now where OTT is leading everything.
Thank you so much. Shreya, I'm twisting the question a little bit for you. And you had 3 back-to-back successes, right? On the OTT platform.
I feel like we should stop saying that. I feel like we're jinxing it now.
No, I'm saying it.
So, is going to haunt me.
What was your defining experience in each of these shows?
Honestly, I actually have a ready-made answer to this. It's the defining experiences particularly have been 4. The first 2, Raj and DK, second, Hansal Mehta, third, Nikhil Advani. I cannot tell you how much it is it's a privilege to work with people who know exactly what they want, who know how to get the best performances out of you, how to tell a story in such a cohesive, wonderful, engaging, thrilling way, and to be able to work with storytellers in their prime, rediscovering even after having done such an amazing body of work. I mean, come on, Nikhil's been working since before I was born, and the man
say that, don't say
continues
that.
to reinvent himself.
He suddenly you made him feel old.
It's not about that. It's experience and talent and awesomeness. Like, how do you constantly find new ways to tell a story? How do you constantly find something that keeps the audience wanting more? I mean, it's such a privilege to be in their company. I mean, it's been my absolute honor. It really has.
So Nikhil, tell me from, I'm going very back, Kal Ho Na Ho, then you did, you made you did a lot of films in between and all different kinds of films, but you made a site of a transition to terrorism, counter-terrorism kind of films, right? Like Batla House or now Mumbai Diaries. Let's go to the Mumbai Diaries, right? Was that by default or by design? And
completely by default, in the sense that it's not by design at all. Because in 2013 nobody wanted to work with me. Nobody wanted. I was almost written off as a filmmaker, and I was actually writing a kind of Veere the Wedding, 4 women, Sex in the City, 4 more short please kind of a film. And every actress I went to, they kept saying, yeah, but I'm busy for a year or whatever. And then, and you were not born. You were not born in 2013. Rajas, I remember May 1st, 2011, and I was driving back. I was in my car with my driver, and he turned around and said, "Yeah, sir, अगर ये लोग ओसामा को वापस ले, मतलब अगर हमारे क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग दाऊद को वापस क्यों नहीं ला सकते?" And I reached the office, and in the office, my hep, Gap wearing, Zara wearing assistants were on Facebook or whatever they were at that time, and they were also saying the same thing. I just felt that there was a story there. So quickly, called up Ritesh Shah, Suresh Nair. Funnily, I got the credit of doing Kal Ho Na Ho, because I grew up in the shadow of Karan Johar. And so when D-Day came out in 2013, suddenly people said, "Cannot believe the director of Kal Ho Na Ho has made D-Day." That's when I was known as the director of Kal Ho Na Ho, So it was completely by default. Nobody wanted to work with me. The first person I narrated the film to was Arjun Rampal. Not to take away from the national award winning Arjun Rampal at all, but he's the first person I narrated the film to. And every time I actually speak to people, they say, "Arey, but why did you not go to Ajay Devgan? Arey, but why did you not go to John Abraham? Arey, but why did you not go to X, Y, Z?" I said Arjun was lying down on a bed where I was also lying down, because we were waiting for Sudhir Mishra to take the shot in Inkar. And I said, "Yeah, I want to do this film about terrorism." He said, "मैं करता हूँ." I said, "करते." So it's completely by default.
Yeah, interesting. But would you, or if tomorrow, would you do for the OTT space, would you do a typical Bollywood song, dance?
Yes. Say yes, Nikhil. Say yes, please.
Love story.
Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. I'm also taking this as an endorsement, after considering that you're such an expert in this field, that somewhere or the other I'm taking this question as a hint that this is what we need.
Yes.
Bollywood song, dance, happy, full of love, full of life, color, going back to our Naach Gana kind of this thing, Because
I think so. There's a big space for that. Problem happens in our country. I don't, not casting aspersions on anybody, but sometimes it's herd mentality. एक show hit हो गया, सबको वही करना है. एक autobiography, सबको वही करना है.
Literally, realism has become the rom-com of OTT now.
Yeah, but great. I'm happy to hear you say that you're willing to do it, and inshallah, hopefully it'll happen soon. So speaking about Mumbai Diaries, because that's what we were supposed to talk about. So Shreya, tell me your experience about Mumbai Diaries.
But I thought I gave a little bit of a glimpse earlier. Mohit will answer this much better, because his toughest time on the set was when I was on set. Because Nicky gave me like a complete free reign on set. It was like a big playground, and I went and touched everybody, literally and figuratively. So It's a blast, yeah. It's such a blast because I remember the first day. I haven't said this story before, but I'll say it here. I remember when I went through the first day, and I was really nervous because I was playing another journalist, a very famous financial journalist at the same time, and I wanted to make sure that Mansi Hirani, is completely different. So we did the first day, and Nikhil doesn't say anything to me, nothing. So I'm sitting in a corner going, "Oh my God, yeah, am I like so bad?" He has nothing to say. Like he has like, "Oh my God, like maybe I'm really, really bad." And so I muster up the courage, and then I like, "Nikhil, can I speak to you?" He's like, "Ha, come, tell." So I'm like, "I'm doing okay, right?" He's like, "Why? You think you're doing bad?" I'm like, "No, I don't know. I was just waiting for you." "No, I'm waiting for you. If you think you're good, I'm fine." So I mean, come on, what a blessing that is to hear from your director, where he has complete faith and trust in what you are doing. I could have cried. I didn't, because it would have ruined my makeup, but I could have cried.
What makeup? You all no makeup. You all only dust and this thing. What makeup? You all?
Hey, I meant dust blood makeup.
Mohit, your experience? Any one thing that you remember that
Apart from my tormenting him, yes.
No, I had a blast from day one. I have spoken about it earlier also. You know, I come from a background from television background, so where we are always working against time. You know, we don't have time in act. Like you always have at the back of your subconscious mind, you always used to think like uh, uh, 16 minutes has to be achieved in a day. You know, so forget your creative skills and everything. Just keep that behind right now. We just need to reach the number 16. So you become a machine. So coming from that space into a world where a maker is making you sit across in 50, 60 chairs and 60 people and doing the workshop and reading and trying to understand how the actor will say a particular line. You know, so I really loved the entire process from starting there, where Nikhil sir used to take the reading. We used to do reading with him, and everybody would say their lines, and he would over there, correct them. No, I want you to be a little louder. I want you to be a little slower. I want you to get a little more angry. You know, so all that experience is a blessing for an actor.
Like
Shreya wants to say something?
Which is for
description, all of that kind of reader. Could you hear me? Sorry, did I freeze?
yeah, no.
Did I freeze?
Yeah,
Yeah, you had.
No, I
that
was
was
just
Mohit perfect.
no, I was just saying when Nikhil used to read along with all of us, he would even read like the description and all of that with the screenplay.
Yeah.
And that it's sound effects, yeah. I mean, to give us like the feeling, he would make the noise and he would make it's incredible. You should see him.
Shum Bishum and all, huh?
Yeah, it's like incredible.
You never
So-
felt that you were acting. It always felt that you were part of that hospital, of that situation over there. Because he never let us prepare for anything, or he never allowed us to, think too much. It was like, okay, the situation is here, now react. So I think that was a great experience.
I'm not surprised at all. No wonder he's such a great director. So Nikhil, so coming back to you, you took an tried and tested tragedy, but you gave a new fresh perspective to it. What was your thoughts that were going in your mind when you thought of making Mumbai Diaries?
No, in the sense that it actually it's the reverse. People think that it is the story of 26/11. I actually started off wanting to tell the story of.
So that was the backdrop. I know that. Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. So for me, so the tried and tested 26/11 was always supposed to be the log line of the show is those who are meant to heal are sometimes the most broken. So it was always a medical drama. It was always supposed to be about the doctors, nurses. This whole concept of frontline worker and all these things have just come. We've learned about it in the last 14 months, 16 months, or whatever. So, but when we started wanted to make a medical drama, and when I was doing my research, it was like 1,200 beds, 300 admissions every single day, and that's a normal day, right? And now you basically say, what if it's an extraordinary day? What if it's the most abnormal day that the city had ever seen? And that's where 26/11 came in. So it started off as a medical drama. The show was written as Bombay General Hospital or Bombay Hospital. And then we said, okay, let's make it an extraordinary day. Let's make it a crazy day. And there where, we as we started going more and more out of the hospital, where the Mansi Hirani character came in, where the Ananya Ghosh character came in, where the two husband and wife doctors were stuck, that Raja I took from Harish Manwani was having his farewell at Crystal Room South in the Taj, and the whole of Unilever is there, right? And I said, okay, I don't want the Unilever to be there. So what if I make it a symposium of doctors? And so I put the doctors in over there, and because it's a medical show. So I took a lot of these things while writing. There's this wonderful, real life hero Malika Jagat, who actually went 3 times in and out of the Taj to get all the Unilever senior management out. Yeah. So I used her as Ananya Ghosh, made her F&B manager, made her into Kaushik Oberoi's wife, who they've had a fight because he has blamed her for something that, he has accused her of something that he possibly said in just in the fit of the moment. And that's where it all came in. Right? So it was never about 2611 for me. It was always actually about my doctors and my nurses and that's how it's going to be going forward also. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for me, 2611 is very special because I've got 2 daughters. I've got 3 daughters actually. One is a canine, 2 are humans, and 1 canine and my younger daughter both are born on 2611.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. So
This number is very special for me. So I think we're running out of time. So what I'm going to do is ask the audience to throw up some questions if they want to ask any questions. But before that, I have one trick question for you too. Web series or films?
For me?
Yeah.
Web series.
Web series.
Or film for digital.
Yeah, got it. Okay. So you're straight away saying that ideally your first choice would be digital. Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Going forward, I think so. I think that like I said, it's liberating. I think the kind of stories that I would like to say going forward are more suited
That's a big
for
yeah.
more suited for the digital space. Yeah.
But I must tell you one thing, MA Entertainment has been the busiest people during the pandemic with the shows that you turned out.
Thank you.